There's a fish. Is that just a sunfish again? No, it's not. It's a fall fish. All right. Another fall fish nailed it, guys. Little fish will not really hit it. They kind of come up to it and inspect it, but they don't want to eat it. Oh, there we go. It's a freaking catfish. Alright guys, I've got the Spin It crank. Let's see what it does. Okay, pretty hard vibration on it. It does sink pretty quick. It seems like it wants to swim on its side a little bit, which is unfortunate because I'm not sure there's a way to tune it. So I'm not amazed by it. I wish it was running straighter. You know, I could fish it a little faster. But I think it could catch a fish. To get it, as long as you're cranking it, it runs fairly shallow, but and it does deflect off cover somewhat, which is good. Oh my gosh, we just got smoked, guys. We just got smoked. That's a good bass. Oh my gosh, he hammered it. I saw the strike and everything. He smoked it, guys. Can we get this fish up? Yes, we can. Oh, dude, nice fish. Oh, baby, look at that fish. Look at that bass. I saw him crush it, guys. I saw him crush this crankbait. The old L&S MirrOlure Spin It. Look at that tiny lure in the side of his mouth. He slammed it, guys. I mean, slammed it. Just about yanked the rod out of my hands. Look at that fish. That's about a pound. Maybe a pound and a half. Beautiful largemouth. Oh, baby, I need to get some pictures of this one. Wow, that's a beautiful fish. Oh, I'm glad we were able to lift him up. The bank is steep here. Kind of not prepared for like a really nice fish to hit it, but wow. I mean, he smoked it, guys. Look at that. Look at that lure. Even with a broken hook point, no trouble getting this guy pinned. All right, guys, one last look at this bass. This is a nice fish. This is a nice fish. Nailed the Spin It, the L&S Spin It, vintage lure. Challenge complete. Let's see if we can catch some more. Don't like throwing them in like that, but it's like a 5 or 6 foot drop right there. Whew. Nice, guys. Little fish will not really hit it. They kind of come up to it and inspect it, but they don't want to eat it. Oh, there we go. It's a freaking catfish. Oh, that was on the drop. It's a bullhead, the brown bullhead, a small one. Oh, there he goes. That's fine. I didn't necessarily want to deal with him. Got my line all slammed up. I mean, I would have liked to take a look at him, but I'm not too disappointed. Well, I think that catfish did try to eat it, so I guess I'm going to count that as a strike at least. We didn't land him, but he was hooked kind of funny. There's a fish. It's another bass. All right. Didn't look like it's hooked that well. Oh, dang it. Fortunately, there doesn't seem to be a real way to change the hooks out on this, and they don't look amazing. Hopefully we don't get into a pattern of losing a bunch of fish on it, but we're getting some activity. That's for sure. Alright guys, I'm gonna run over to a different spot and keep throwing this little lure around, see if we can catch a few more. Alright guys, I'm back at a different stretch of the river that I fished earlier this year in early summer. Had a lot of fun topwater fishing in this portion. Oh, there's a fish. Okay, there's our first panfish on it. It's a red breast, guys. Not a big one. I'm not too surprised to catch one, that we would catch one eventually, but here's our official second catch after that good bass. There we go. There you go. Pretty guy. He's not big, but pretty. Gonna toss him upstream so it doesn't disturb any of the other fish that are in it. This current right here. Oh, ooh, look like a fall fish behind it. He almost had it. I think if I keep working it in here, we can catch a fall fish. Yep. Next cast. Oh yeah. All right. Oh, whoa, buddy. This fish shook and just freaking poop flew out of him. Bunch of poop flew out of this fall fish. Oh, buddy. Should have just come to this section to begin with, guys. Got here and right away started catching some. Hold on, fish. Hold on. Quit squirming. Belay that squirming, fish. All right, I want to get a picture of him. That's a solid one. It's like a 9-inch fall fish right there. Let me get a picture real quick. All right, see ya, fella. Let me let this guy go up here too. Oh, next cast, guys. Dude, these fall fish like it. Oh. All right, well, there he goes. Wow, yeah, this spot's just a lot better, I think. Whoa. Oh, hello, I didn't see you there. You're watching Cross Country Bank Angler. If you're enjoying the video so far, if you've learned something new about fishing, or just find the video entertaining or relaxing in any way, then I want to take the time to ask you to please subscribe to the channel. I know that there's a lot of fishing related content on YouTube right now. There are a lot of channels out there. So if you're taking the time to watch mine, I just want to say that I appreciate you, and I hope you'll stick around. We've got weekly fishing videos here at Cross Country Bank Angler. You know, wade fishing, topwater, bait finesse, ultralight. So if that's the kind of fishing that you enjoy, then I encourage you to hit that subscribe button, because I think you'll enjoy all the future content that I'm going to be putting out on the channel. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you'll consider supporting me by subscribing. Here's a fish. Another red breast. Wondering if that other portion we were at just didn't have red breast, because they're just smacking this thing now. There he is, pretty colors. And thankfully that one actually got hooked in the mouth. See ya, buddy. I have been able to kind of navigate this thing around some branches and stuff, you know, if you can kind of tell that you're getting close to one, you can sort of slow it down and it tends to run right over it. I do think you can fish this as a jerkbait effectively. It just sinks kind of fast. You can't pause it for long. There's a fish. Wow. Not that big, but a hard fighter. Hard fighting red breast. Red breast sunfish. See ya. Okay, there's a little bass. Took off after he hit it. Alright, tiny guy. Thank you, buddy. Hopefully there's some bigger bass in here. I'd like to catch another one like the one we caught at that first spot. Oh. Okay. Getting a little better. It's a slightly bigger one. Let's get a look at that one. That's a pretty one. Like a 5-incher. Let's let him go. There's a fish. Is that just a sunfish again? No, it's not. It's a fall fish. All right. Another fall fish nailed it, guys. All right. Let's let this guy go. Little discombobulated, but he should be okay. There's a fish. Wow. Red breasts are smacking it pretty hard, I'll say that much. Just wish we could catch some bigger ones. This looks like trouble, guys. He got the full 3 points in his mouth. Let me see if I can get him out with the pliers. Alright. Something just hit it on the drop right there. Tiny bluegill. Great Jehovah's. Great Jehovah's. Tiny. Surprised we haven't gotten a chain pickerel to bite it yet. There's a fish. Feels decent. Whoa. It is a pickerel, okay. Just as I said it. Just as I said it, guys. Said, where the pickerel? Now he is hooked kind of funny, but so I don't know if I'm actually going to count this one. Let's just get this guy out of here. There he is. See ya, buddy. There he goes. Wow. He just came up and nabbed it. Alright, there's a better bluegill. He just nabbed it. That's the term. Sometimes the fish nab it, and it's a very specific little tap. You know, when I say that term nab it, it's a very specific way of eating the lure. And that's what this bluegill did. He just nabbed it. Oh, well, there he goes. What is going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to Cross Country Bank Angler. Basically the goal today, you know, it's centered all around this little lure. And it's pretty odd story how this lure came into my possession, because it was basically just completely random circumstance. So I found this lure in my car, actually. In the car that I currently have, had it for like a couple years now. And one day I was just kind of, you know, rummaging through, you know, getting some stuff out of the back seat, and I looked over and I saw the tip of this lure, you know, the bill and the eyes just kind of sticking out from between kind of the frame of the back of the car and the seat, you know, the back seat. And, you know, this is not a lure that I, you know, bought or anything. It was just there out of nowhere, completely randomly. So I was just like, well, what the heck is this doing in there? This looks interesting. I could tell, you know, immediately that it was an old lure. You know, it had that this metal bill on it, which, you know, lures today, very rare for there to be a metal bill. So I got, you know, a set of pliers and kind of pried it out of there. And this is what we've got. So just get a look at that there. This is about a 2-inch lure. I think it weighs about 1/8 of an ounce. Basically a jointed crankbait. So I did some research obviously on this lure. You know, it has some information on the bill. I don't think you guys can read that, but what it says, okay, there we go. L&S Lure, L&S Spin, MirrOlure USA. So that name, MirrOlure, is still around. It's a company that's mostly known for saltwater lures, particularly, you know, they have, I think it's just called the MirrOlure, the MirrOdine. You know, it's like twitch baits and topwaters, I think is mostly what they're known for. And I did a little bit of digging on this company and on this lure. So the company was originally called L&S Bait Company. It started in the 30s, and they started building lures then. They were originally wood, but they soon switched to plastic. And one of their more well-known lures at that time was basically this model here. It was called the Bassmaster. It was originally like a 3-inch lure, and they had a bunch of different sizes. They had a pike master, a muskie master, panfish master. And originally these were, like I said, they were plastic lures, and they had painted on eyes. And then at some point in the 50s, you know, one of the more distinct features of this lure are the kind of glassy, rounded eyes. You kind of see how they bulge a little bit. But in the 50s, they switched over from the painted eyes to these more lifelike, glassy eyes. This particular one here, it's a 2-inch long bait, and it was called the Spin-It, which I guess is because, you know, this is something that was sort of, you know, sized for spinning gear. Definitely a pretty small little lure here. But they sold these crankbaits for, I think, several decades. I don't know. I couldn't figure out exactly how old this one was. It could be as old as, you know, 1950s vintage, Now it's in pretty good condition, but not perfect condition. I don't know if you can see that hook, but one of the points on that front treble actually is broken off here. So that's gonna be a little bit of a disadvantage having to work with that busted point. But I still think we could catch a fish on it. I unfortunately don't really have a screwdriver small enough to get these tiny screws out to replace the hook. Otherwise I would. Maybe later on I'll try to do that. I like the color on this. It's kind of like a gold, I think it's just called like gold minnow or minnow, I think was the color. They had a ton of colors in these lures. All right guys, so that's gonna be it for the old-timey lure challenge that we did today with the L&S Spin It jointed sinking crankbait. Kind of a mouthful. This is definitely an interesting lure. I don't think there's a whole lot exactly like it on the market right now. It's got a pretty good action. You know, it puts out a lot of vibration for its size. That metal bill throws some flash in the water as well. Gives a little bit of reflection. It's a sinking lure, like I said, which is kind of odd for a crankbait, but the lure does work. You know, we caught a good number of fish once we swapped to this other spot. That turned out to be more productive, but we got a nice bass on it at that first spot as well. Plus all the fish here, you know, we caught fall fish and red breast and bluegill. This didn't really bring out any big fish on at this other spot. I'm definitely going to keep fishing with this here and there. Maybe try some bigger water, like some lakes around me, to keep throwing this thing. I think I could continue to catch. I would say the main downside is that you kind of have to retrieve it at a specific speed or it starts turning over on its side, and it is pretty easy to get it to turn over on its side and swim off to the side. I got a lot of short strikes on this thing today, missed some fish, had some fish come off, and I think part of it maybe was just because the action wasn't quite there because it was swimming on its side. So the lure works, you know, perfect size for a bait finesse, this little thing. No question that this thing works, and it was a fun day out here fishing it.